of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perform roll call. Councillor Benson.
Present.
Councillor Reuter.
Present.
Councillor Johnson.
Present.
Councillor DeWall.
Present.
Mayor Ward's present as well, and let the minutes show everyone else in attendance. Looking for a motion to approve the city council meeting minutes from Monday, August 2nd, 2021. Councillor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councillor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda. Before we do so, I do have a couple additions again this week. I'd like to add 3A, Hoghead Fireworks. And I'd like to add 6G, RFP for City Hall cleaning services. So with those additions, I'd look for a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So move.
Councillor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councillor Benson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. This time we'll take comments and suggestions from the citizens present or watching via the YouTube channel. If you're watching the YouTube channel, the call-in number is 218-628-6289. Again, that call-in number is 218-628-6289. We'll give that a minute.
The phone is gone. And I do not know where it is. Yeah, you're welcome to call my
I guess
phone.
our phone is missing from council chamber, so we will not be able to take call-in.
You could take my phone number if they want to.
Okay, according to Ted, we have no audience on YouTube channel, so. Eric, Nikki, do you have anything? Okay, we'll move on then. Looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda with the addition of 3A. I'll make that motion. Is there a second? Second by Councillor Reuter. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That'll bring us to 3A, Clerk advises Council, Hoghead Fireworks. Administrator Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. I have Chief Gaddis and present as well, and I spoke to Fire Chief Helquist, and it is our recommendation that the council cancel fireworks for Hoghead Festival. We're currently fighting fires up in Isabella, and we had heard word that we're expecting 3-foot fire rings to be banned by Friday. And it can give us a chance to be proactive and get the word out that they will be canceled. That is our recommendation.
Thank you. You heard the recommendation from Administrator Rich. Is there a motion to cancel the fireworks for Hoghead this year due to the drought that we're experiencing?
I'll make that motion for discussion purposes.
Councillor Johnson made the motion for discussion purposes. Is there a second? I'll second that. Discussion.
So, are we out if we cancel them?
My suggestion would be, and I talked with Administrator Rich prior to the meeting regarding it, but looking at maybe a future date, hoping the guy can accommodate us to come up here and do a fireworks show at a later date. I don't know what later date, but hopefully we can figure that out with him. Councillor Benson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It would be nice if we look at a couple of different dates, because fireworks are best when there's crowds. And if Proctor's playing Hermantown in football, that would be pretty exciting. If there's a couple of dual meets down at the fields, perhaps later in the year. But might as well try to go where the crowds are already at.
Nope, I like those ideas.
Another option, Mr. Mayor, and Mr. Reuter can help me, but I believe, I don't remember how many years ago, we had to cancel for some reason, and the money went towards the following year. He made it bigger. I don't know if you remember that.
No, you're right, but I think, I'd really like to see us try to do it, do an alternate date sometime. Because I think people are looking forward to it, but. Maybe. I was just saying, I'd like to see us, first of all, try to find an alternate date if we can, because I think the people at Proctor, even without a big crowd around, most of the people like to come and watch, but I think we need to talk with Mr. Service and find out what he's willing to do. You know, if he's willing to come at a later date, then maybe we can work that out. Otherwise, I agree with Councilor Duval that, you know, maybe if we can't come to, you know, a mutual date, then we just talk to him about moving that forward into next year.
Perfect. Administrator Rich, can you see that we have those discussions?
Yep, most certainly. My recommendation was first and foremost, safety, and then we would figure out, but those, all of your suggestions are very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the winter, do we still do that winter thing?
Carnival, winter
Yeah.
carnival? We didn't do it last year, obviously, but that's another chamber event, correct?
Yes.
And has there been discussion about hosting that again this winter, or
Not yet.
no? Not yet.
Depends on where the COVID stuff goes, you know.
Okay.
Nobody knows what's gonna happen there.
We'll have discussions with the company and see if we can't come up with a plan. Any further discussion?
Oh, Mr. Mayor?
Councilor
I
Benson.
didn't get the piece about an announcement being made, a likely announcement being made on Friday.
Councilor Benson, can you slide to your thing?
So
Too
Councilor,
much plastic, I can't hear.
We're expecting an announcement from St. Louis County banning fires in 3-foot rings as well. So all fires would be banned.
Okay. Thank you.
and just for reference, if that announcement comes out Friday, our fireworks company is already here Friday. I mean, that's real short notice for them, so I think that's why the recommendation is being made. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Bring us to 6A, Proctor Utilities Commission resignation. In your packet, there's a letter from Phil Larson resigning from the PUC. His term is set to expire August 31st. This letter does not have an effective date, but I'm assuming it's effective at the end of his term.
That's correct.
Thank you. So we're just looking for a motion to accept the resignation letter from Commissioner Larson.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. 6B, Proctor,
Ms. Mayor?
Yep.
And I just want to add with, you know, a grateful appreciation for serving in so many different levels.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Councilor Benson. That'll bring us to 6B, Proctor Utilities Commission application. So again, in your packet, there was an application for the open PUC seat. I believe we had one applicant apply, Eric Bingaman, and he is here today. So looking for a motion to accept the application to seat Eric Bingaman on the Proctor Utilities Commission.
So move.
Councilor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Eric, would you like to say anything?
Looking forward to taking a new adventure here and serving the city again, so.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions for Eric by chance? No? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. 6C, COVID guidelines. So last week, we went with the CDC recommendations, or last meeting, I'm sorry, we went with, to go with the CDC recommendations as far as COVID-related issues. There were some items that came up, changed. Administrator Rich did send out an email addressing the masks, travel, quarantining, isolation. I hope you all had a chance to review, but I guess this would be an opportunity for council to decide whether we're sticking with the CDC recommendations or if we want to address each individual item with our own guidelines. So I'll open the floor to council for discussion. Unless Administrator Rich, you had anything to add to that?
No, I think you summed it up just fine, Mayor.
So I guess my recommendation would be going with the CDC guidelines, recommendations. The only issue I see is the travel part regarding going outside of your normal routine. What is a normal routine for everybody in this room? I mean, me personally, I travel a lot for my job outside. Tomorrow I'll be in Babbitt. It's not really a normal routine for me, but does that mean I quarantine for however long of a period the CDC is recommending, or how does council want to handle our employees going on vacation or ourselves going outside of our normal travel areas? Just stick with the CDC guidelines on it, their definition?
Mayor, if I could, we could also look at it on a case-by-case basis. We are coming to the end of summer where people are taking their summer vacations, and everyone has very different type of travel plans. Some are, going out of the country. Some are not. Some are vaccinated, some are not. So we could look at it on a case-by-case basis, and we could just work with that individual employee. People do have their travel plans set already. Most people do. And I don't know that some people had factored into having to quarantine for 2 weeks or 10 days afterwards. Could be one suggestion. And I don't see very many issues arising. The League of Minnesota Cities has given very little direction, just told us to look at the CDC guidelines. So that might be one approach that we could take.
And I like that idea, Administrator Rich, because you could be going on vacation in Michigan into a cabin in the woods with you and your family. You're not around anyone else, but then coming back, CDC guidelines say you got to quarantine for, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, whatever it is now. If you look at it on a case-by-case basis, we could ask the employee, hey, what were you doing? Were you at WeFest or were you at a cabin in the woods with your family? I guess, in my opinion, those are two different variables. So. Does anyone else have any thoughts on that?
Going to a Twins game probably would not count. Sorry, that was a bad joke. I think CDC guidelines are probably the best. Whatever Minnesota Department of Health has to do or has to say, that would be up there, St. Louis County Health, depending on what happens in the county.
Is that a motion, Councilor Benson?
Yes.
Councilor Benson made a motion to follow the CDC guidelines. Or guidelines, recommendations, both? Whatever they're coming out saying is what we should follow. Is that?
Yes.
You heard Councilor Benson's motion. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Councilor Johnson seconds that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 Oppose? Motion passes. Resolution 30-21 Paha raffle. In your packet, there is an application for a raffle to be held at the Powerhouse Bar on February 19th, 2022 for the Proctor Amateur Hockey Association. Looking for a motion to approve resolution number 30-21.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. 6E, Proctor DTA schedule changes. Discussion purposes, Councilor Benson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Reason why it's on there is the DTA is looking to make some schedule changes that would affect half of the community. Right now, they go to the west side, and they are looking to cut out the west side. And while it might not mean a whole lot to DTA and their schedulers, I think it would mean something to our citizens. I'm not sure of the passenger count. The time to speak up or submit comments has passed, but I think as a city and perhaps something from the mayor or a resolution may help. I don't think so, but I hate to see half of our community without bus service.
Nope, and I would agree, and I did participate in the public comment period regarding it. And I do have some contacts at the DTA I can reach out to, but if you're looking at a resolution, that would obviously come before council, and we can discuss that next meeting, if that works.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other discussion on that?
Mr. Benson, when does this take effect?
I'm not exactly sure, can't really remember, but I would suspect it's probably going to be early 2022.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion?
Just so you also know that I've been in contact with Mr. Christopher Belden, who is the Director of Planning and Grants for DTA, and we have directly addressed our concerns, similar concerns to him as well.
Good, thank you.
Anything more?
Uh,
No. Hearing none.
I brought it up thinking that I know that we have students that take the DTA, to the high school, and if numbers, and school starts in a couple weeks here, I wonder if that's something they've thought about, so.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on. 6F, SRO update discussion. Councilor Benson.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor, Council. And I see the chiefs here. I was just wondering if, with school rapidly approaching, if we have an SRO update?
Next week, we're scheduled to meet with the principal and the school staff about the SRO and what the plans are. So after that discussion, I'll have more to offer you guys.
Will it be going before their school board next week, or it'll probably happen after the school board meeting?
I don't know. I can't answer that, Mr. Benson.
Okay. The school will be having a new SRO this year?
Correct.
Has there been any training lined up?
Yes, he's already been to Alice training last month or early this month. I can't remember, but he's already been to Alice training.
St. Cloud or?
That was up in Mountain Iron.
Mountain Iron?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Did anyone have any further discussion on that? Hearing none, we'll move on. Brings us to 6G, RFP for cleaning services for City Hall. Administrator Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. This was brought to you last month for you to review. We have some changes in cleaning service needs. We're contracted with cleaning services. We need to add additional days and we need to add some additional duties. So it did change the scope of the current contract that we're under. So I'm asking that we go out for RFPs to several different companies since we are changing their original scope of their bid. And they're also welcome to rebid. But I'm asking for your approval to send this out.
You heard the recommendation from Administrator Rich. Is there a motion for her to RFP for cleaning services within City Hall? I'll go ahead and make that motion for discussion. If there's a second.
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnson. Any discussion? I just had one question, Administrator Rich. Is the due date September 1 enough time for that RFP?
We'll probably change that, Mayor.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to members' concerns. Administrator Rich.
I just have a couple items to report on. Tomorrow I'll be meeting with Matt Bulf, SCH Engineering, and Rick regarding the sand salt design and layout. We're just going to put some final recommendation touches on it, and then the sand salt, those of you who are on that committee, will get together and you'll be presented the opportunity to look at the layout, suggest changes, ask questions. So the project is moving forward. I was notified this week that the federal grant for the playground for everybody has been approved. So you'll be seeing some grant contract work coming in front of you in the next month. And this needed to be approved by a federal parks and recreation type board or organization, but it was approved. They just needed to do some final historical background on the site. Last meeting, you asked me to meet with the Historical Society regarding their loan forgiveness request. And we did meet, Councilor Johnson and I did meet with Mr. Schwartzbauer, and they just asked that I give you a summary of our meeting. At the end of July of 2022, the current treasurer and the president have plans of resigning from the Historical Society, and they're unsure, they're shaky about the future of the society. While the financial and the paper membership are strong, they're in dire need of active membership and leadership. And without that, they're unsure of the future of the Historical Society, and they're afraid that it may dissolve. So should that happen, the reason why they came to you with that request was so that they could be in good standing on their loans, so they could have all their debt cleared off their books should a dissolution happen. They're also concerned that, excuse me, I just need 5 minutes. If they do fold, they're unsure of where any remaining funds would go. So they're also concerned that at any point, because the loan paperwork says that the city council can call their loan at any point and demand payment in full. And they would like to spend some money that they have right now on programming, but they don't want to commit that money to programming because their debt isn't covered just yet. They want to make sure they have enough in their coffers to pay their debt. So they just asked assurance from the city council that while they're going through this transition or a possible transition, that you not call their loan to be paid in full. And then they'll just wait to see what happens with their future. They'll continue to make the monthly payments.
Thank you.
And then finally, Finance Director Brunfeld and I will be working with department heads over the next couple of weeks on preliminary budget numbers for you. That deadline is September 30th.
What was the timeline?
September 30th.
Thank you. Was that everything, Administrator?
That is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Benson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to answer Councilor Johnson's question about the bus service, I said early next year in June. We expect to implement in June 22. The banner that's up along Highway 2 on the Senate fence was kind of a ode to J. Proctor Knott, but also the deeper meaning behind it is that this is also the 150th anniversary of his little sarcastic speech about the delights of Duluth. So just wanted to acknowledge Russell Haberman's effort to brighten up the downtown in an important week for us. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor DeWall.
Item, this is for Administrator Rich or Director Grunfeld. I'm assuming we're on the new system, and that's how we're paying our bills. Is there any way that we can get department codes on there again? If possible.
Yes, we can. Actually, we had a discussion about that, and she said if it was asked about, yes, she would put them back on there.
Okay. That is it.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Johnson.
I got nothing.
Nothing today. Counselor Reuter.
I have nothing at this time.
Thank you. I got a few things. After our last meeting was National Night Out, I want to thank the fire department, police department, city employees for their hospitality down here at City Hall. It was a great event, lots of people. So I can't thank those guys enough, guys and women. And then I want to thank the people that invited the chief and I to their personal block parties. We hit, what, 4 of them, 3, 4 of them? So it was good to get out and see a lot of people celebrating National Night Out again after last year we had. Reminder, Hoghead starts today. The Chamber had their annual golf tournament, which was a fun time today. I dispute the scorecards, but that's a different topic. But thanks to the Chamber, and keep an eye on all the events. There's events every day throughout the week, so enjoy Hoghead again. And I believe our next meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 7th through to Labor Day. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the case. So just a reminder, next meeting is on a Tuesday. That is all I have. Attorney Bray. Nothing from you. All right. That being said, we'll look for a motion to approve the bills. I'll make a motion to approve the bills. Is there a second?
Second.
Sent by Councilor Reuter. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Who seconded that? I'm sorry. Councilor Johnson seconds that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Thank you.